everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Debbie and this is my crafty den. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. I'm so happy that you can join me today. I love it when we get to spend time together. And I'm going to do a page in my art journal today. And the first thing I'm going to do before I do anything else is grab a sheet of wax paper and put it between my pages. I am the absolute worst for gluing or painting my pages together and forgetting to put something in between them so that I don't muck up the page behind. So that's what I'm doing. First thing, wax paper. Okay, now that that's done, I can start deciding how I'm going to tackle this page. I know today that I'm just going to use some paper scraps and put them on here, just doing some form of little collage. And I think I'm going to do, work from opposite corners kind of towards the middle. I found this little recipe in a really old magazine, and it was for rack of boar. It's not anything that you would cook now, but it made me laugh when I saw it, and I ripped the page out and I kind of ripped just the recipe out of the middle of the page, just the main part, the ingredients mostly. And I want that to go right in the center of my page. So I'm kind of going to just build both the corners towards each other until I have a spot in the middle that I can put that recipe. And I'll just kind of mirror one corner to the other, I think, but with different sized papers. You guys know what I mean. Yeah, so I'm not sure. I'm just going to rip away as much on that little recipe as I can and just keep the actual part with the print on it. It's just, I don't know why it made me laugh when I saw it. And yeah, I know it'll do it again. It'll just make me happy when I see it. So I think that's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to start gluing. I found my glue sticks. Oh my gosh, guys, my glue sticks have been missing in action for months. And I was going through drawers looking for something the other day and found the little plastic bin that had my glue sticks in. And I absolutely refused to buy any more because I knew I had them. They're even starting to dry out a little bit. So this is a brand new one I just opened, and yeah, it's drying out. So I put some red ink around that piece right there, and even the glue stick made that red ink run. It was just a little ink pad that I got in a little craft kit from Dollar Tree. It had 3 different colored little ink pads in there. The ink pads actually work really good, but the quality of the ink isn't, so great. So anyway, I wanted kind of red around the edges of all of these papers, and because see the red right there in that music paper, it's such a pretty red, kind of a fall red. So I kind of wanted that around the edges of all the pieces of paper. But that ink's going to just run so much that I'm not going to use it. The inks or the glue stick's working a little bit better now though, so it's starting to break through. The top of it was starting to get waxy. It was starting to dry out. So another piece of that, I need another piece of that colorful print with the music notes on it. There's got to be another one in that bin somewhere. Yeah, see, I knew there was another piece in there. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try inking it. I'm hoping that ink doesn't just bleed all over my whole page. So I'm trying to be careful around the edges and still glue it down. Gosh. See, I still got some on my page, but oh well, it doesn't matter. I'll just go around all of them with something that's red when I'm done gluing everything down. I kind of have this idea of how I want this to look, but I'm not quite sure. I think I need something else. Yeah, see, I just don't know. Now, this is where, as an afterthought, I wish I had have taken that red ink and gone all around the page now. So instead, I went for an oil pastel. I have never used these and I wanted to try them. So I'm looking for one that's kind of a red, and I'm just going to scribble. So I'm going to scribble all around the outsides of these papers. I thought the oil pastels would blend. These are cheap ones, I know, but I thought once I put them down on the paper, I should be able to rub them and blend them. And I think with a good oil pastel, you should be able to, but that wasn't quite what was happening with these. They were a little bit dry. Now I'm trying to get that. See, this is where I thought, yeah, see, I thought I could put the yellow and the orange down and blend them together. And I'm kind of just going off of that, these pieces of paper that are right behind the recipe, the yellow and the red in those, and just looking for a bold color for lines, just lines down this page. But I'm not sure what I was going for. I guess this is the place that you try stuff. And yeah, so I wasn't really too sure. I did take the black and go around, but yeah, as an afterthought, I wish I had taken the red and gone around it with the red. I think it would have made more of a statement. Whoops. That wasn't glued down. See the glue? I may have to go over all of this when it's dry with some clear glue or something and make sure everything stays down. But the whole point was just to do something on the page. So this is just to show you not everything turns out the way we thought. This isn't how it looked in my head. It's kind of the effect, but I wanted it to blend a lot smoother. Like I really thought I could take that orange and that red, or that yellow and that red, and blend it with my fingers and turn it into a really great orange. And I put a little cat there, a little kitty cat. And then I was just looking through some of these stickers and wondering, so I have a lock and a key. And I want to use a lock and a key. Yeah, I just can't figure out where I'm going to use the lock and the key. And I know I can't use them in these. They're way too clean. They're too black on white. So I'm just going to make them dirty before I take them off. This is distressed linen, something vintage linen or distressed linen, or I forget, but it's something linen, that color of distress ink. And anyway, it does the job. It makes something that's too clean. Like if you have an image that's too clean and you rub over it with one of those ink pads, then it will make it look dirty without covering up your image. So that's what I did with the lock and the key, and I just put them on there, trying to get them straight. But I do need something down in the left-hand corner now. So I'll just have a little sip of coffee and think about what I'm going to do there. So I'm thinking flowers might save the day here. Usually if I put some florals on something, even something that I don't like, I can make myself like it. So I'm just going to pick a few here to put down. Right now, I'm really doubting whether I can save this or I can come up with anything to do to this page to make me like it. But yeah, so I'm just going to pick some of these florals out. And once again, I'm looking at them and I'm thinking they're too white, they're too clean, they need to be dirtied up a bit. So I take this antique linen distress ink and I start going around the edges of these flowers. And as I'm doing it, I'm thinking they need to be darker. There's actually a border around these flowers. So even after I put the antique linen on there, I didn't, it was still too noticeable. I didn't like the border itself on the flowers. So I put this away and I get out the vintage photo. And once I get out the vintage photo, I know that's the right decision. I know that I'm going to like the brown around the edges of the flowers so much more because it's going to go with the page. But I still don't think these flowers are going to be able to save this page, guys. This page just isn't doing anything for me. I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe I just didn't pick the right papers. I'm just having one of those days. I sat down to do this in the first place because I was having one of those days. You know, those types of days where you just wander around and you don't know what to do and nothing makes any sense to you. And maybe you don't. Maybe everybody doesn't walk around like that. But yeah, I was having one of those days. One of those days where every time I'd walk into a room, I couldn't remember what I went in there for. Yeah, that. So I don't even know. I think this was just a way to sit down and do something that I wouldn't hurt myself at because I was a bit tired, I think. And, I was just I didn't sleep the night. The honest truth is, I didn't sleep the night before. I was walking around in a daze and didn't know what I was doing. So anyway, I got everything on paper and I grabbed a pen and I started to write and I think when I was all done, when everything was said and done and I had it all written down, it was okay. I didn't hate it. It was okay, but I didn't love it. Let's just say that. I didn't love it. So I leave it in. I'm going to leave it in my journal. I mean, I did it and it's something to look back on and probably later down the road, I'll look at it and go, what was I thinking? Because that's what I'm thinking right now. So anyway, I really hope you guys are all having a great day. And, everybody is finding something happy to do and staying safe. And yeah, if you want me to continue art journaling, let me know. I'm going to continue art journaling. If you want me to continue sharing, let me know in the comments. And I'll be happy to do so. Some of them turn out fabulous and some of them just turn out terribly. But once I get all the writing down on this, it's not that bad. I mean, it's different. So anyway, don't forget to like, share, comment, and if you haven't subscribed already, go and do that for sure before you leave. And everybody have a great day, and I will see you all in the next video.